Awareness is the one and only technique of enlightenment that the Buddha preached for 45 years. It is not our normal awareness that gets polluted by our thinking, but the pure original awareness not polluted by thinking. In the normal enlightened beings, naturally, automatically, awareness becomes polluted with thinking. Thinking is based on our likes, dislikes, and ignorance. Likes leads to attachment, dislikes lead to resentment, and the ignorance leads to negligence. Even in law, negligence is supposed to be an intentional activity. That is why negligence is a basis for criminal charges. You can harm somebody through your negligence. In the case called de novo extinction, it was declared that we have a duty of care towards all those who will be affected by our activities. Maybe living thousands and thousands miles away, even on the other part of the earth. But if they are adversely affected by your negligence, you can be liable for a criminal offense or even a civil offense. Negligence means not being conscious of, not being aware. Therefore, awareness is the technique to dispel the weakness, the mental weakness called negligence, that can be translated as ignorance. In Pali, it is called moha. A cause for the defilement of our mind. According to the Buddha's teaching, our mind gets defiled by our likes, dislikes, and ignorance. Referred to in Buddha's language called Pali as raga, dosa, moha. Raga is attachment, dosa is resentment, and moha is ignorance. That becomes the basis of our negligence. Negligence means carelessness. Because we have a duty of care towards all, both animate and inanimate, that can be affected by our activities. Being careful about others amounts to compassion, kindness, generosity, all virtues. Being careful about others, having a duty of care towards others, is nothing but charity, nothing but altruistic love, called metta in Pali and Maitri in Sanskrit. The path to enlightenment is awareness. Awareness means the absence of negligence, the absence of ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing, but awareness is knowing. As I mentioned at the beginning, awareness can be pure or polluted. It is pure awareness, the original awareness, unpolluted awareness, uncorrupted awareness that leads to enlightenment. Krishnamurti referred to it as choiceless awareness. In choice, there is at the base the attachment and resentment that get manifested as our likes and dislikes. In choice, we select things that we like, differentiating them from the things that we dislike. Awareness is a state of mind free from likes, dislikes, and ignorance. That means that is an enlightened mind. Enlightened mind is a mind free of attachment caused by likes, free of resentment caused by dislikes, and free of negligence caused by ignorance. And that is a pure mind. Mind that is not thinking. A mind that is living. Thinking mind is not a living mind, though it appears to be living. Living is possible only at the present moment, here and now. When we think, our mind is moved from the living present into the dead past and also into the unborn future. To think, we use words. Words are based on our memories of the past. We identify things with the help of our memories of the past. This is my mother, this is my father, this is a tree. And when we identify, we use the words to name them. That means, in identifying, in naming mentally, our mind is not living in the present moment. It is living in the undead past. And the mind thinks of things, or beings, or events, having some expectation with regard to the unborn future. We like something means we wish it to be not only at the present moment, but also in the future, even hereafter. And the moment, hereafter the present moment, is of the unborn future. Our greed, our desire means we are dreaming of the unborn future. We dream of the unborn future with the help of our past experiences recorded in our brain as memories. Pure awareness is here and now. That is why it is referred to in the Buddha's language as sanditthiko. That means now. Sanditthiko means now. Pasthiko, sanditthiko means you can see it now. Ditti means seeing it. Pasthiko means seeing here. Therefore, being aware is being here and now without moving into the dead past or to the unborn future. That is the time in our mind, psychological time. In thinking, our mind moves in the psychological time into the past and into the future, leaving the present moment. Leaving the present moment means being ignorant of the present moment. Therefore, pure awareness is free from the ignorance of the present moment. Ignorance is metaphorically referred to as darkness. Because in darkness, you are blind. That means you cannot see things as they are. You can't see the present moment when you are blind. Enlightenment means bringing light, dispelling that darkness of ignorance, dispelling that negligence, and dispelling our likes and dislikes caused by our ignorance of the reality. We like things or beings or events without knowing their actual real nature. So do we dislike things, beings and events without realizing their true nature. Realistically, according to Buddha's teaching, there is nothing that we can get attached to, nor that we can resent. Everything is instant, ephemeral. They are born to decay and die at every moment. Because we cannot be aware of anything outside us, really. Because our sense organs are so weak, they have no capacity to grasp the reality of anything. For example, our eyes cannot see atoms or subatomic particles that go to form every object that I become aware of. The eye becomes aware of only an outer formation. Scientists say that in every atom, more than 99.9% is empty, but we don't see that emptiness. We see things as objects, hard objects. Not only 99.9%, that 0.9 takes 12 places in scientific calculation. That means we see nothing but emptiness, but our eyes are not able to see that emptiness. Our ears, they cannot hear all sound waves. We cannot hear radio waves, telephone waves, mobile waves. We cannot. Our ears are incapable. Even our noses are so weak, they cannot grasp even what the nose of a dog can grasp. What a dog can smell, we cannot smell. And all what we can be conscious of can be called illusions made by our own mind, but we don't realize them illusions. We can be aware of only mental images and nothing else. That is the reality. An image of yourself or somebody else that appear in the mirror looks real, but that is not the real person. Even when you go in front of a mirror, your image is there inside the mirror, but that is not you, actually. You are different from that image. That image is only an illusion. So are the images in the cinema screen, TV screen, computer screen, or in a picture. They are all images, illusions. But we have to be aware of all those illusory images without likes and dislikes, without ignoring them, if we are to be enlightened. That is the one and only technique of enlightenment taught by the Buddha, as I mentioned, for 45 years. That means when there is only pure awareness, the mind is here and now at the present moment. And it is not defiled by attachment or resentment or negligence. It is an alive mind that is aware, but that is only momentary. All mental images are formed by our thoughts. A thought is a series of sparks. They are called chittakkana in Pali and chittakshana in Sanskrit. Akshana means a spark, a lightning, a minor lightning inside the mind. All images, mental images, are called by lightning, sparks that appear to disappear then and there. That is why in Sanskrit, that instant appearance and disappearance is termed as shana bangura. That is the nature of all our experiences. When you realize that truth, our mind is free from being polluted by likes, dislikes, and ignorance. That is, there are manifested as our likes, dislikes, and ignorance means that are manifested as attachment, resentment, and negligence. A mind free from negligence is an alert mind. It is only when you get enlightened that you get a constantly alert mind. Such a mind of an enlightened one is called in Pali as Jagaryana Yoga. Jagaryana Yoga means the enlightened are sleepless, they don't sleep. Their awareness never disappears. They are constantly aware. Aware of what? We can be aware of only, as I mentioned earlier, the signals given by our sense organs when they come in touch with sensory objects. The eye can give signal to the mind when it comes in touch with certain waves reflected from an object. So is the ear. When it becomes aware of sound waves, it sends a signal of what it becomes aware of. And those signals form mental images with the help of past memories. For example, we hear the voice of our father, mother, brother, sister, wife, or husband, or child, then our ear sends a signal to our mind that recognize that signal with the help of the past memories. Then the mind goes to the past and name the object that radiated or transmitted that sound wave. Oh, that is my mother, father, brother, etc. In that state, when the mind goes into the past and get connected with past experience regarding a person, thing, or a being, or an event, it gets polluted through likes, dislikes, or ignorance. Also, with future hopes of attachment or resentment. When we become aware of something present, we recognize it with the help of our past experiences, and when it is present, we want it to continue in the future also. But when we become aware of something unpleasant, we resent it with the help of our past memories. And we resent it to get rid of it in the future, hereafter. After the present moment is the future. Just before the present moment is the past. Both the past and the future are dead. But even the present moment is instant, momentary, born to die here and now, subject to birth, decay and death. Anything takes a time, a duration for disappearance after its appearance. Appearance is birth, disappearance is death. The duration from the birth to the death is called decay. In Pali, Jati, Jara, Marana. That is the basic nature of our every mental image. That is what was realized by the Buddha's first disciple called ascetic Kondanya by listening to the Buddha's first sermon called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. At the end of that discourse, Buddha himself uttered that there dawned in the mind of Reverend Kondanya the mental eye to see the reality of mental images. In Buddha's words, Ayatmato Kondanyasa. Virajang Vitamalan Dhammacakkum Udapad. Dhammacakkum means the eye to see the Dhamma. Dhamma means mental images. What did he see? Reverend Kondanya saw, according to Buddha, Yankinchi Samudaya Dhammam Sabbantan Nirodha Dhammanti. All mental images appear to disappear instantly. That is the realization. That means all mental forms, all images, all thoughts, all feelings are illusions that appear to be real, but that reality is only momentary, instant. Once you realize that, you realize there is nothing, there is no mental image, no experience that you can hold on to. Therefore, if you can't hold on to anything, you can't drop anything, you can't reject anything, or you can throw away anything. To throw away something, you have to hold. To hold, if you can't hold, you can't throw away. That means there's nothing to be attached to, and there's nothing to resent. Once you realize, the mind becomes from attachment, resentment, and also ignorance of the reality that everything is ephemeral instant, and ignorance is reality is called moha in Pali, and enlightened mind, moha is compared to darkness, moha metaphorically is darkness. Metaphorically, dispelling of that darkness is enlightenment. Seeing things as they are. In Pali, the Buddha's word that is called Yata Bhuta Jnana Darsana, seeing things as they are. Once you see things as they are, things are only mental images. Nothing else, as I mentioned earlier, that we can be aware of. When you see things as they are, we can accept things as they are. That means choiceless awareness. Being aware of things without likes and dislikes. That is the way that we can live alertly, earnestly, without any attachment or resentment. That is why in the Drona Sutta discourse, Buddha said, I am like a lotus. He compared himself to a lotus. Lotus is born in the water, grows up in the water, gets substance from the water, but lives apart from the water, but not running away, but not getting polluted by water. Anupalito mitoyena, as Buddha said. Not getting in touch with the water. Similarly, I was born in this society, I was brought up by this society, I am being sustained by this society, but I live apart from the society, above the society. That means without resenting and without getting attached. The separate existence, instant existence. And that is the nature of pure awareness that leads to enlightenment. In enlightenment, you get free of attachment, resentment, and ignorance. That is why it is called Ragakaya, Dosakaya, Mohakaya. Raga is attachment, Dosa is resentment, Moha is ignorance. Free from Raga, Dosa, Moha means Vita Ragi, Vita Dosi, Vita Mohi. That is state of an enlightened mind. To realize that mind, we have to practice maintaining such a mind through meditation. That is a technique of awareness, referred to in the Buddha's language as Satipatthana. The easiest way that the Buddha could do that type of meditation called awareness, the choiceless awareness as said by Krishnamurti, is to become aware of your own in and out breathing. That is how Buddha stepped into the path to enlightenment at the moment of his enlightenment. He got into the trance of enlightenment through that, starting with awareness of his own breathing, and that is called Anapanasati. Ana means breathing in, Apana means breathing out. When you become aware of in breathing and out breathing, there is no need for attachment or resentment. because we have enough air to breathe in. Therefore, our mind is free from greediness. Mind is not greedy. There is enough air. And the mind doesn't resent. The mind is free from attachment and also resentment. No attraction, no repulsion. There's no attraction because there's air everywhere in the atmosphere. There's no repulsion, resentment, because we cannot live without breathing in. And such a mind, when it becomes aware of in and out breathing, it is free from ignorance, negligence. That mind is alert, but free from attachment and resentment. And that is nothing but the pure awareness that ultimately leads to enlightenment. A state of mind free of completely, perfectly free of attachment, resentment, and negligence called ignorance. In Pali, the mind is free of raga, dosa, moha. Such a mind is called vitaragi, vitadosi, vitamohi. There is the state of an enlightened mind. That is the outcome of the pure awareness, referred to in Buddha's language as satipatthana. Sati is awareness. And translated into English as mindfulness. That is possible in our day-to-day life, in every situation, at every moment, constantly. There is no special technique of being aware. Just being conscious. Conscious purely, without likes and dislikes. That is the only technique for enlightenment.